What up, guys? Welcome to another reaction series. So today we're talking about female corrections officers. So because of feminism, women make up 47% of the workforce in the United States. The push for women to go into the workforce has society thinking that it's okay for women to be in the jobs that are inherently dangerous. Police officers, firefighters, and now corrections officers. Not only do women have to consider the dangers of these professions, but they also tend to exhibit modern woman behavior. They don't carry their weight, they complain, and they find a way to sleep with inmates. So today we're going to look at some female corrections officers. Now, whoever thought it was a good idea to employ women in prison really is a complete idiot. It's one of the worst ideas in modern history. We're going to take a look at a Jackson State corrections officer fired for sexual assault.
Fired state corrections officer may be going back to prison on the other side of the cell bars. The officer facing battery charges for allegedly beating up an inmate who was restrained. Reporter Eric Avenir has details from Jacksonville.
I told that officer, I don't know who it is.
36-year-old Corinda Welch says her intake process at the Duval County Jail started off on a bad note when now former corrections officer Catherine Thompson began to pat her down. She says during the search, she was heavily sweating, but the officer wanted to know why she was so wet.
She was like, well, I don't know. You could have all over yourself.
She says tensions escalated when Thompson gave her a jail uniform.
But the pants immediately started to itch me. Something was on the pants. And I told her, these are old, they're dirty, they stink, they have mothballs, and I'm itching. I can't put on the pants. I left the shirt on. Can you please get me another pair of pants? I'm not getting you another pair of pants. This is it. That's all you get.
Another officer eventually gave her a different pair of pants. She says tensions escalated even further when she asked Thompson why she was, quote, treating me like an animal or slave.
She pretty much went off. She started calling me Kunta Kinte.
Kunta Kinte is a slave.
She did what? What are we doing what are we doing?
Slave character from the TV show Roots.
That was way over the top. That let me know right there where her mind was at.
Then she says Thompson ordered her in a room with no camera where she placed tight shackles on her legs and hands before attacking her.
Oh, my God.
Punched me dead in my forehead, right in the middle. Boom, right here. I could not believe it. She used both hands, got this head, bam me, my head, this part of my head into the concrete wall. She sprayed me this close range with pepper spray, each eye.
Another officer intervened and this complaint against Thompson was filed. The complaint triggered an investigation that
Women are more violent than men. We don't talk about this as a society. It's always male violence. But women, we're the violent gender. It's not the men. It's really not.
led to Thompson being fired and arrested.
Now, the woman says she's planning to file a lawsuit against the Duval County Jail. She also says she's now dealing with post-traumatic stress disorder, and she's worried that her unborn child could be injured or affected by this.
Oh my gosh, she was pregnant too. We are brutal creatures. All right, let's see what we got next.
A youth corrections officer has been arrested, accused of having a sexual relationship with a parolee.
And when she was confronted with the allegation, court documents say she actually tried to communicate with the alleged victim with her Apple Watch to warn him about what was coming. Team 12's Joe Dana has been looking into the case. Joe?
Tough situation here. This 25-year-old corrections officer hasn't been on the job a full year yet and now faces these serious allegations. Marie Waller of Phoenix is being held on one count of unlawful sexual conduct with a person in custody, a felony charge. According to court records,
women love criminal. You know, the equivalent of putting a woman as a corrections officer is like putting a man at Hooters or a club promoter. Everyone knows club promoters bang all the women, right? I mean, it's just a balance of probabilities. You're the guy getting the hot women to the party. You're going to bang them like a bartender. Women love prisoners. We love them. We cannot say no to the bad boy. I mean, we already love bad boys. Now you're going to put us in a room full of prisoners? Cooked, done. Of course she's going to sleep with them.
Waller started a sexual relationship with an 18-year-old parolee who had previously been behind bars and was living in a residential home for juvenile offenders at the time of the relationship. Another corrections officer allegedly saw sexually explicit Snapchat messages between the two and reported the officer. While being interviewed by investigators, Waller asked for a restroom break, and that's when court documents say she used her Apple Watch to try to communicate a message for the alleged victim to deny and delete everything from his phone. According to the police report, Waller admitted to the
So you're like, you don't think they can, I think this young generation, when I was growing up, the internet was relatively new. So Facebook I got when I was like 13. And my parents are really good about telling me the internet's forever. And these kids these days, they think Snapchat can't be pulled out. It can. Hate to break it to you.
Relationship and says it was consensual, but again, because of her position, it's considered a crime. The county attorney is...
Yeah, it is a crime. That is illegal. So I hope they put her in jail. Let's see who's next.
Word tonight.
Oh, wait.
What's up?
Word tonight.
A corrections officer was accused of inappropriate conduct with an inmate. What criminal got her? Let's see.
Head of a sex scandal at the Milwaukee County Jail. At its
that's pretty close.
center, a Milwaukee County corrections officer. Good evening, everybody. I'm Shelby Croft.
And I'm Terry Sater. 12 News investigative reporter Colleen Henry joins us from the jail. And Colleen, the officer, was arrested for apparently an improper relationship with a Latin King gang member.
Yeah, Terry, the Latin King was an inmate here at the county jail awaiting trial in that highly publicized racketeering case.
He was spitting game in Spanish, I bet. She was probably calling him Poppy or whatever.
It's over in federal court. That corrections officer is suspended without pay tonight since her arrest last week. Sources tell 12 News the romance fired up in one of the pods here at the Milwaukee County Jail. The target of the officer's alleged affection, hardly the most eligible bachelor. 21-year-old Michael Carroll is already convicted of reckless homicide.
See, the news people don't get it. It makes him a more eligible bachelor, okay? They're like, why? That's the male, I know it's a woman saying this, but that's the male brain. The male brain is like, that's not logical. Why would you? I would never. I've seen what you guys do for a pair of big boobs, so let's not play the never card. But no, homicide, it's like, ooh, he'll kill for me. That's how the women feel, right?
He's also a target on the street for ratting out fellow gang members to get himself a better deal in the federal Latin Kings prosecution. The officer, Cindy Bartashevich, is a 31-year-old married mother of 4.
Oh my gosh. Oh, that's so bad. You got your girl stolen by a 21-year-old killer. This looks like a Diane. Her name's Cindy, but this is like your stereotypical Diane. She doesn't feel hot anymore because she's out of the game, kind of. She's aging out. I feel her,
She posted $10,000 bail on Sunday and is free as this investigation continues.
I'm her dad.
Henry Hoynatsky defends his daughter.
Oh, this poor dad. What story did she concoct? I bet she told him they're lying.
Saying such allegations are a job hazard for corrections officers. He doesn't believe any of it.
If I'm being sentenced to 40 years...
I believe all of it. I believe all of it. Yep, he spit game. The blue pill dads are like the biggest enforcers. Like, they're the biggest simps. Because they don't know female nature. So that's like when their daughter accuses somebody. They're the ones that go kill them instead of realizing, oh, shit, I have a daughter. This is a woman. She's a liar. Not all, but not all.
In prison, and I'm in a plea bargain, and I'm getting knocked down, yeah, I'll say anything you want. Just tell me what you want.
So he's making it up?
I think he is.
So she wasn't here?
Yeah, she wasn't making it up. He's got good bone structure. I mean, yeah, she was cooked. Done.
Having an affair with an inmate. But federal officials say otherwise, that the officer attended Carol's bail hearing in federal court in October, and just 2 weeks ago, she bailed the Latin King out of jail.
Oh my gosh. And the dad still believes his daughter.
12 News obtained this court receipt showing she posted $5,000 in cash using her maiden name and
probably using her husband's money.
Father's Milwaukee address. No one answered the door at the Franklin home Bartashevich shares with her husband and kids. Her father says he knew nothing about her paying Carol's bail, but he still defends his daughter.
And anybody at the sheriff's department would tell you she's one of the greatest ones there. If they had 5 of her,
the jail would probably run better.
I'm sure the jail would run better. Men, they're a lot less violent when they're fucking, you know what I mean? I'm sure the jail would. I'm sure all the guys loved her there.
Now, while the officer was arrested and jailed, she has not been formally charged. 12 News has made several attempts to...
Yeah, she's so cooked. As most of you know, I have been fighting on the front lines of the simp epidemic for years, but I need to tell you about a quiet weapon being ratcheted up against men that is rarely talked about. It's not just the relentless anti-masculinity propaganda and OnlyFans hoes causing the societal issues that we discuss on this show. Did you know that the average city's tap water contains trace pharmaceuticals and endocrine disruptors? This often includes estrogen from birth control. The average adult consumes a credit card worth of plastic every single week. That's 5 grams of plastic a week on average. So it's no wonder that the average male's testosterone is half of what the average was 50 years ago. Testosterone levels decline 1% a year, and without a course correction, we are headed towards extinction. No matter how based you are, you need to be naturally boosting your testosterone. My friends at Chalk, CHOQ.com, are on a mission to save mankind from extinction by boosting your vitality. Chalk's Male Vitality Stack contains premium and potent herbs clinically studied to naturally boost your testosterone levels, sperm count, and overall vitality. Just one of the many ingredients in the Male Vitality Stack was studied in double-blind human clinical trials to boost total testosterone 20% in 90 days. When you boost your testosterone, you'll have more mental clarity, you're more capable of making decisions and taking risks. Having high testosterone will also affect your pheromones, so women will find you more attractive subconsciously. Get the Chalk Male Vitality Stack right now on Chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. Use my name Pearl as your coupon code and you'll get 25% off site-wide on Chalk.com. That's CHOQ.com. My name Pearl is the discount code. All right, let's see who got it next. 23-year-old. A 23-year-old prison guard had sex with, not one, but 2 male prisoners many times. Okay, so let's see. So what are we going to rate her, chat? I'm going to say, if the tattoos bring her down to a 6, but my gut feeling was 7, but I think sometimes when it's further out, I rate women higher. I got to see her behind the bangs.
And December 20.
She's got nice hair, though. That helps.
22, and she allegedly plotted to smuggle drugs into the facility. She is out on unconditional bail pending a hearing on May 23rd. District Judge Adrian Turner warned that her case would proceed to Crown Court. Sharif also faces charges related to drug smuggling and having a mobile phone in prison.
Feds charge ex-corrections officer with sex abuse of inmates.
Prison guard has now been accused of sexually assaulting inmates inside the Metropolitan Correctional Center downtown.
That's the federal jail in Chicago. WGN's Courtney Spinelli was in the courtroom as that now former guard faced charges.
Less than an hour after her initial appearance, Brittany Hall leaving the courthouse speaking with her attorney, Thomas Leinen-Weber. The 31-year-old was shackled at the ankles as she appeared in front of U.S. Magistrate Judge Heather McShane for her initial appearance and arraignment. Fairly neutral in her expression, Hall answered in short statements, including, quote, "Yes, I understand," during this procedural hearing. A 9-page indictment filed in U.S. District Court for the Northern District of Illinois charges Hall with 3 counts of abusive sexual contact and 5 counts of sexual abuse. Hall was assigned to the 12th floor of the Metropolitan Correctional Center, or MCC Chicago, where the female inmates are held at the time of the alleged crimes in December 2023. According to the government, 2 of the victims were serving out federal prison sentences, while the other 2 were charged with unspecified crimes. Prosecutors allege on several occasions Hall touched the victims inappropriately. A spokesperson for the Federal Bureau of Prisons unable to comment on the case due to ongoing litigation. However, the agency says in part, quote, "The Federal Bureau of Prisons strongly condemns all forms of sexually abusive behavior and takes seriously our duty to protect the individuals entrusted in our custody, as well as to maintain the safety of correctional employees and the community. We have a zero-tolerance policy for sexual abuse of any kind, and every person has the right to be safe from sexual abuse. Under federal law, it's a crime for corrections officers to have sexual...
1 to 10, are we rating her? I'm going to say 4.
Contact with
maybe
prisoners.
A 3.
5 of the counts Hall faces carry up to 15 years in prison, while the other 3 carry up to 2 years.
And that was Courtney.
She just wanted to gluck in peace. I mean, really, they should have prison prostitutes. A lot of women would sign up, and then maybe the guys would stop getting, like, raped in jail. I say there's a lot of women that want to do the job. Just, you know, here you go, you know. Anyways, guys, like the video on your way out. And let me know if I have any prisoners, former prisoners watching this. Let me know in the chat if any of you have experienced corrections officers and what, if they're friendly, let's say, with the inmates. Like the video on your way out. Please subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you guys the next time.